We have a slideshow today.
Pura, Leanne,
The pressure will apply.
And members, just while we get the technology set up, I do appreciate your comments about climate change, and I do feel for people who live down in the Heathcote River area, and I just wonder why the district plan is allowed 15 houses per hectare in the Henderson's Basin. How are we going there? All good?
Lead off, Macduff.
Okay.
So introduce your board.
Just great pleasure. It's the first slideshow you've had from our community board, and that's our very, 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 very happy bunch of board members. Sorry? Come along to one of our board meetings, councillor, and you'll be more than welcome.
Read on.
Okay, moving on. We only have the one part A, and that's to do with Waterloo Business Park, so we'll come to that further through our presentation. Our community board decisions under delegations just highlight the first one, which is coming up as soon as Gary presses the button, is the Villa Maria College Conbrio Choir, and they got the silver award in the big sing finals. So I'm by our board, are very, very pleased that we could help those young people. I've got a conflict of interest. My two daughters went to Villa, but anyway, they didn't have the choir or those activities at that time. Really, really good to support young people. And that we've also, if we go to the next slide, you can see there where our board priorities were. The one on the left that you can see is youth, so that's our priorities. The next highest one is children, and the one on the right, highest peg on the right, is community development and residents association support, all of that stuff. So we're very, very community conscious, and those are the organisations that we funded over the years, 52 organisations over the year, and with that level of funding. So long may it continue.
This year.
Yeah. So moving on then to the Waterloo Business Park. I just invite people to actually go out there and have a look at the Waterloo Business Park. Up on the top, the first big yellow block up there is quite a large area that's been taken up by CWF Hamiltons. They're going to be relocating from their Annex Road site to that, and that's one of Canterbury's, it's a world famous company, and so there's some real significant things happening there. Later on in our report, there's a request for the installation of the nighttime parking restrictions in the industrial area, and the Halswell Junction Road extension project, which we're really, really keen on happening, and we know that there's money in the budgets now, plus the grant of $1 million from the Waterloo Business Park towards that project. And just like to virtually just waiting for the lights to be turned on the Pound Road, Waterloo Road realignment. So that's something that we've been looking forward to for quite some time. That was a community board led project, and it's going to make a big difference, I think, to the traffic movements in and around that area. It's taken a long time to get there, but we've got there. So it's just a matter of waiting for the lights to be turned on now. So there is going to be a historic precinct in the Waterloo Business Park as well. So part of the old buildings, the real old brick buildings and that, are going to be retained for community use. And the Waterloo Business Park wanted to be a place for people to be active not only in work hours but outside of work hours with the green space and parks that they've got available. So, yeah. Moving on then, Gary, to Ngāpunawai, the milestones. Planting of 350 native trees. Wow, and there's more to be planted, and was very pleased to be able to attend the blessing gathering on the 9th of August, and for that work to get underway. There's a lot happening. There's not only the development of the sports hubs and playing fields, but also the stormwater retention and detention systems, and there's a lot of work happening in there, but it will be really, really great when it comes on board. And there's a lot more pest trees to be and planting to be removed and replaced with native planting as well. So, and I spoke earlier in the meeting about the tree policy working party that we need for moving on. Sorry, Gary, do we want to just keep jumping to these, and then I can just wrap up later on some of those other bits and pieces? The Aldhurst Memorial Hall suffered quite a bit of damage post-earthquake, or during the earthquakes, and there was a resolution passed that we actually proceed with the demolition of that. But anyway, what we're doing now is reconsidering that, and we're going to have a joint working party and seminar with the Halswell, Fennelton, Waimari, Harewood. Was going to be on the 18th of September, but it's been put back 2 weeks. So, and we're going to talk to the community again about what community partnerships we could have, what the options are. So when we're talking about war memorial halls, war memorials, we've got to be a bit sensitive about it. So that's where we just want to be sensitive about, is it retained or not, or then how is the memorial factors going to be accommodated, because the land was gifted by the Kyle family to the Paparoa Council back in the day. So that's a work in progress. And then the Metro, the Riccarton Bus Lounge and Division Street, the issues. So we've had feedback at our last board meeting from the working party on this on these issues surrounding the Riccarton Road and the bus lounge. So that's a work in progress as well. So there will be some more recommendations coming to the council from the resolutions of the working party to our board, and they'll be passed on at our next opportunity. I didn't put the slideshow together, I'm sorry, but it was one of the things that was looked at. But the future options, it does say future options, and it's still rightly or wrongly in the presentation that we've got here today. No, well, I didn't see that until I got here this morning, sorry. Yeah. So so it's still a work in progress, and there will be more recommendations coming to the council on that one. Okay, and then the community board plan. It's been a long time coming, and it's completed now. So that's something that is going to guide us for the next 2 years plus in this term of our community board and into the future. I'd just like to thank Carla and the staff for putting this together, and it's going to be, I think all community boards have got their plans done now, so I'm just pleased to say that we've got ours done. Very, very pleased with it. So that's our guiding document into the future. And moving on then to the Halswell Quarry Buildings repair. The old stone house is mentioned there. I was just saying to our community governance manager that the old stone house is not to be confused with the old stone house that's in the neighbouring ward of Cashmere, Spraydon. So this one, the house that we're referring to here is the manager's residence house. But we had a site visit on our bus trip, and went and had a look at the work that's being done there, and the quality of the repairs and the restoration of those buildings is absolutely incredible. So that's going to be, well, it is a very, very important part of our ward historically. A lot of Christchurch came from that Halswell quarry. A lot of Christchurch. So it's just it's the opening's planned for the 4th of October. So just like to offer the opportunity to as many councillors and interested parties to come to that, but I do understand there might be a conflict with something else that's happening at council on that day, which is a bit disappointing. Sorry?
Invitations will come to everybody.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
4th of October.
4th of October. It's developed into I can remember back in the day when the council decided to close the quarry and take it over, and they fired the last shot of explosives in there. Councillor Wright was, Ron Wright was there back in the day, and I can remember quite clearly that he said that this is going to be a real asset to Christchurch, and it certainly is. It's developed really, really well over the years. So we're very grateful that it still is in public ownership, that valuable piece of history.
What time is the...
10 a.m. from recall before... Yes.
I just wonder, like, it does seem kind of, you know, it's a major facility. I know it's a community facility, but it's also a metropolitan one. It would be good to try and find a time where it didn't clash, if it was possible.
No, we didn't set the date for the opening.
Yeah. Well, right. There are councillors that are available to go.
Okay. Now moving on then to the HHR, which is a hyper helpful random facts. So that's so it's really interesting, and we'll be giving you more facts every month when we come to do our board reports to the council. So nearly 30% of the city's workforce work in our area. So
under the Local Government Act, you should be bringing alternative facts as well. Just a joke. Carry on.
But you know, like the southwest of Christchurch, around Hornby, and that, it has been a very, very working class area, you know, for a long time. And these stats moving into the future are showing that 27% of the workforce are in our area. And when you have a look at the big developments that's happening, like the Hornby quadrant, that called the Stewart development by Watties and Shands Road, massive area in there, as well as the Waterloo Business Park, as well as the growth around Halswell residential growth and new commercial growth. So it is a rapidly growing area, and will be sustained for quite some period of time. And nearly 13% of the workforce, city's workforce, is in the Riccarton ward. So they come in and out of Riccarton every day with their sleeves rolled up. 13% of the people in Christchurch.
Excellent.
And the other thing is our community, or the other issues we want to cover. I think really in the Part A recommendations, it also mentions South Hornby School, proposed school speed zones. I'm just really pleased with that we've been able to progress that through. And so the South Hornby School's relocating to the Branston Intermediate site. So without further ado, I've taken up enough of the time this morning, and I'm just quite happy to answer any questions you've got of our wonderful PowerPoint presentation.
I think you've got to your end of your time, but you'd like to move that?
Just one minor question.
Just one minor question?
Yeah, okay.
Yes?
Yeah. Wonderful presentation. Thank you for start, in the chair. Only regarding to your the item 10, the Napuna 1.
Yes.
5.1.3. Probably the kind of the opening date. Maybe a minor mistake. In here is opening in March 2017, but already gone. Maybe 2018.
That is probably correct. Well,
just
Jimmy,
correct.
you're
Absolutely
ignore
to partake of this.
you're absolutely famously vigilant, brother Chin. Very vigilant. Thank you for pointing that out.
Otherwise, pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
I didn't push the wrong button on the computer keyboard, though, brother.
Mark said yes.
Sorry. 18.
Okay, that's seconded by Vicky, and now Vicky. One thing that you didn't tell that was incredibly exciting at the last meeting this week, and that was the board's approval of the revised design of the Riccarton Community Centre, which I know will come to the next meeting.
Yes.
But instead of doing the future proofing by way of creating capacity to build on in future, what the board's done is think very creatively and build from the start a two-storey building instead of a single-storey building, so it gets 30% more space.
Yes.
From day one, and that was approved by the board at the last meeting in a really good process.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. So that's been. Did that alter it's within?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is some stone work with hints on that, and with that
Excellent. We like to hear that. Right. So it's been moved and seconded. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried.